We're going to set up the right hand one more time.
Folks.
There it is to the...
Rise and shine, ladies and gentlemen. Rise and shine. 421. We're not doing the 420 anymore. We're doing the 421 start time. And, alright. Oh, that's from earlier on. So, yeah, I just want to note that YouTube wasn't allowing me to set my timer to 4:30. Every time I did it, it would say 11 o'clock. So it was like, I don't know if I've been... They don't want me to be going at 4:20 in the morning anymore. They want me to finish my streams at 11:30. But you know, we do what we want over here, man. We do what we want. So nice to see you. Nice to see you. Yo, I changed my room around a bit. Put my bed in the middle like I said I was gonna. And yeah, it was really weird. I couldn't set it so that it would say on the timer that it was gonna start at 4:30 no matter what I did. So I just went with it. And I was watching some videos today. Holy smokes, is this Slather guy worse than I ever thought? Oh, thanks, Rach. Do you see my psychic LARP UNRIG crystal ball? Yes. And I have another crystal ball over here for the psychic LARP UNRIG. And yeah, so I was watching this video, a few videos about Slather, you know. I never really paid attention to him too much because for me, I didn't, you know, the Q phenomena, I just ignored it because it was already too far gone. Too far along in its viral, and it just burnt itself out, played itself out. Too many people knew about the scam, and DeFango ratted them all out. So we got DeFango to thank that Q is terminal. But instead of letting it go terminal, oh, they showcase it on Comedy Central. And I watched the full thing on Comedy Central, man. It is bad. They're talking about Clinton eating babies, like I said. And obviously Slather has a cure for cancer. Because back in 2011, that dude was selling friggin' products like Alex Jones style products, door to door. Or, you know, like Avon style. So, it's basically, he's basically a snake oil salesman. And when he got on YouTube and he started pumping and pumping, people liked his style. I mean, you can't blame him that everyone around Pizzagate, everyone around Q, liked this guy with his Christmas lights in his bedroom and figured he was going to go they were all going to go places with him. So, yeah, he's got a huge ego now, Rach, but he always had a pretty big ego because he was, you know, he was doing seminars back in 2011, a little like Tracy Beans, you know, where they go to these seminars and they talk and they're one of the speakers. And you kind of, it's like any job. You kind of get good at public speaking and motivating people to buy your products. So, when you come to YouTube and you know, you apply that same ability, well, you go places on YouTube because that's what they want. They want someone that's going to push the story no matter what. And, hey, J-Man, how you doing, boss? J-Man, are you over in Japan watching sumo wrestling, buddy? I know I asked you this question last night, but Yeah, so just watching Slather go and seeing him his progress, you know, and then, you know, if he got to YouTube and then he got 150,000 subs, it just shows you what a, you know, what an unauthentic place YouTube is. And something to note, another thing to note is just how toxic the truth movement is getting. And it's right, it's, you know, it's on purpose, I believe. And thankfully I'm pivoting away from that place. And yeah, it seems like even the people that you help in the truth movement, well, they're telling their own story anyways. And you know, you might just want to look at the turmoil that people get. There's so many controversial topics, like over 100 in the truth movement, and they both have a side plus, you know, pro or con. And so many of the people that are in the truth movement now that are new and left, basically you got to agree with, you know, a large portion, depending on which ones they're championing that at that time. But you got to agree with 3 or 4 of them, or you're part of the problem. So imagine that, you know, you're helping, you know, anyways, you're making videos, giving I guess an overview of my opinion of things. And you know, if you don't agree with one of the many 50 or so events that have taken place since 2012 when they canceled the Smith-Mundt Act, well, you have a chance to become, you know, that person's basically the person that's ruining everything over here on YouTube, Trump America. And so you don't be surprised, folks, if you notice that I just turn away from some creators, you know, in the truth movement. And if they hold really, really, you know, really strong views, and they're unwilling to listen to anything, then it's a good chance that I'm going to move away from them, and I'm just going to do my own thing as I pivot away from the truth movement, and I find something else to do on YouTube. We'll see. I certainly ain't going to end up like any of these people. That's not my intention. So I'm done doing being a truther and doing investigations. I haven't relinquished the kingship, but I'm certainly done reaching around and making sure that everybody else is up to par with their studies. And I'm just going to let everyone progress at the pace wherever it is that they are. And it really is great. This stream, I was talking to Lord LARP Wars today, and it was about 12 o'clock at night, and he was like, I stayed up for one of your streams 3-4 days ago, and I was wiped out for 3 days. And I was like, dude, don't stay this. If you're American and you stay up to watch this stream, like, I hope you know I'm sleeping during the day. I'm doing this on purpose. I'm up at 4 a.m. If you watch a 4-hour stream at 4 a.m., you're gonna be a failure during the week, during the regular week hours. So if that's okay, go ahead. But it's my opinion that Americans and people that are in a time zone outside of the UK or Australia shouldn't be messing with this stream. It's gonna be video harm. Video harm. You might be able to flag the video for harming your sleep pattern. Sissix. Yes, so over the next let's say, month of September. So let's say after August, I'm going to start doing a bit of, I'll be doing some YouTubing during the day. And at that point, I'll be following some people. And I'm not going to be following, I was watching some of Jason's stream today. And he did a 2-hour stream with a gentleman, George, an accountant of some kind or an analyst. And let me promise you, that guy can't stay up and watch my 4-hour stream. And then he can't even watch my whole 4-hour stream and then do streams. I mean, that's not how YouTube works. If you have a daily stream and it's 2 or 3 hours, you're really limited on how much you can actually watch of other people's YouTube, which is a good thing. It makes the person more authentic. But it's likely that even if I'm on Team Goodman and I'm going to be finding something else to... I won't be covering, MAGA or a lot of the characters that are important to American politics. And as the political machine heats up, because I think there's an election soon in the States, it's some kind of midterm election or something. Well, and he likely doesn't have a chance of losing, But YouTube is going to heat up, man, and it's going to get toxic with Trump, because that's what YouTube is about. It's about, InfoWars and Trump. And then the Young Turks, they got a little position over there from the Clintons. But they're not down, I mean, I wouldn't even say the Clinton camp. I don't even think they troll the truth on YouTube. They must be on Facebook or something else. But so right around the election, which I think is September, which is November, I think, usually the elections. So let's say September, even if I'm checking out other people's channels and content, it's likely that Jason's content's gonna get political, and that go off in that direction. And I'll be doing other things, like focusing on what lifted bail is, who he's bringing to the table, what DeFango's doing. I got a few other ones now that I could watch, and I'm sure it'll bring me good understanding of the direction. After the elections, YouTube is going to have like another direction. Let's say when an upcoming election, they focus on that, and then afterwards they'll have another little, and I promise you, the Pizzagate and the child trafficking, that's all for elections, man. That's all just to say that the Clintons are eating babies. And people that are really stuck on flat Earth, or what are some of the other ones? Nibiru, or Nibiru's coming back, But on any of the trauma simulation events or murders, straight up gun violence in the States, I'm not going to be arguing with over those points, because from what I see, it's a bit like the truth movement, what's left of it. No matter what position you take, you're going to upset a hell of a lot of people. First of all, you're going to upset, if you take the position to make yourself look sane in the face of the media that's on its way over here, well, you're going to look like a sellout. And then if you take the position that everybody's not dead, and that, people are going to be able to call you a person that phones dead people's parents and injured parties at hospitals and so on and so forth. So you'll be demonized either way. Either way. So I can already see that coming. I mean, it's getting bad. So I'm not going to go there with these clowns. I'm not going to start, there's going to be 200 new truthers that don't never seen anything from 2-3 years ago and have a full understanding from what they've seen from YouTube in the last 2 years, which is like, it's so different than what it was 4 years ago and 6 years ago. So that's something that people should take note, that Google is rewriting. Things are not changing for people. They're rewriting definitions. They're rewriting things as you go. They're changing the ending of the story as you go along. When we pass away, Google will have rewritten what happened during our time as we're going through it. And it's all part of this advanced computer, I guess, mapping, and so J-Man says that an interesting character was in DeFango's chat, the Eye, dropping information, Hive Anon connected, saw Tidor drop the same information earlier in the day. Well, Tidor's amazing. You gotta always watch that you're not being, obviously anyone that is known, they can always copy a person's account. So just note that even with me sometimes now, you'll see that when things are going good for me, someone will be trolling live streams in Lift the Veil because they know I'm sleeping as with a character to make me look stupid, or vice versa with one of my subscribers. So I'm not sure, but Tidor, if he was dropping the information and Hive dropped it or connected, the Hive thing and the Anon thing and the Pamper Anon and the Baruch the friggin' scribe, I mean, I'm ready to throw all these people in the garbage, just like DeFango's Spear of Destiny, like pure garbage. Like Baruch the scribe, he's not even American. I don't even want to hear that guy talk again. And the reason I say that is not because, like, you can see, I like Scottish people, I like Irish people, I like English people, but just because he's not the problem in America. Well, obviously, if he's filtering Q through Tracy Beans, and he is a bit of the problem, but I like to kind of focus on people's voices, like the inflection of their voice. Like I can tell when an American or a Canadian or a French person or an English person is telling fibs, usually, from how they're talking. So I like to kind of keep it in, with the North American and, Quebec French, not necessarily French from France. It's harder for me to understand exactly how they're feeling when they talk. So, yeah, DeFango, if there was somebody in DeFango's chat and his name was the Eye, well, let's just focus on the Eye being Thomas, or someone that, is directly related with DeFango. And it's some kind of a, so I wouldn't necessarily, information that DeFango lets you see is likely part of, something that he's trying to draw you into, because that's the type of person he's been in the past. So I love watching DeFango because he's not, he's heavily involved, but he's not, he just acts like as if, why would he know, or why would he be, why wouldn't you believe him, kind of thing. And I just think it's hilarious because he's proven himself a few times to be completely unreliable as a source for information that you can actually talk about at the dinner table. Sure, he's a good source for information if you want to follow one of these stories along, you know, the Never Neverland kind of thing. But easy to find out the next direction that they're going to be going by just following DeFango, because he's basically the cheerleader for Cicada. And I don't know why they keep using the guy, because he's already ratted them all out. And now that we're all watching DeFango, it's like I don't even really have to watch him that often. I just tune into him here and there. And pretty much he lets me in on the whole scoop. So, what's this? It's so cool, 1-800 Empire. You're doing call-ins now. Surfing's my thing. Yeah, so I got some paint, Rach. A cool color, like a green color, but oh no, I think I got a beige color. Like kind of like a taupe. So I'm going to paint like one wall that beige color, and then I think I'm going to leave the other 3 walls white and paint the roof flat white. But it's going to look nice, man. I'm going to feel like I'm in a hotel. It's the idea. And hey, Lady Court Tales. Oh, so nice to see. It's been such a long time. Well, don't stay up too long. A little 15-minute break over in the UK is okay. But I was telling the people that are up, you know, in America at this time, well, they're not going to be able to do a good thing during the day tomorrow if you stay up from... I sleep during the day. So don't think that I'm magic here and I'm doing this stream and then I'm going out all day, and sometimes I'm like, darn, I missed going shopping, because it was like sleep till like 5, you know, on a Monday or Tuesday. You can't really go anywhere. But yeah, Beans, Tracy Beans, unfortunately, and that Liz Croker person from Pizzagate, I mean, you're going to see in 10 years, you're going to look back on this place, YouTube, and you're going to have a little bit of disdain for the, maybe not, especially if you were just watching the activity, it's not going to bother you that much. But if you were like a contributor, like a creator, an IM creator, and somehow you got roped in around these people, and, you know, I mean, why did YouTube have to leave me with these clowns? Like, why couldn't they just have showed me something else, man? Like, anything else. Anime, anything. No, they had to send me from Alex Jones to Pete Santilli. So, I mean, at this point, I'm blaming YouTube. It's not my fault I went and friggin' absorbed this friggin' nonsense and ended up down this place and on YouTube and all with all these freaks and Jordan Slather and Tracy Beans, and it's not my fault. I mean, but it is what it is. So, Jordan Slather, I believe he's going to end up like Richie from Boston, like he's going to take the next little bump and go to 200,000 subs with this Comedy Central bait, you'll see. And he'll just become like a Lift the Veil type, you know, that can peddle influence, and he won't necessarily be pumping the Q, because the Q is pretty much terminal. So, Lady Cortales, why don't you have yourself a nice cup of chamomile tea? That helps you relax and dim the lights and you'll probably fall asleep when Sunday. Think about the birds tomorrow when they wake up at 6 a.m. Yeah, I got some tea here, but it's caffeinated because I'm trying to break my trolls. I figure if I take them on the other side of the world, man, they're either going to fail in the UK or they're going to fail in the US or they'll fail trying to cross the Atlantic. But Defango and UNRIG are both hard to watch. And obviously, you know, when these guys like George and Slather, he's kind of in his little groove, so it's kind of like, you know, confidence, you know, whereas Defango kind of lost it a bit, but now he's making his comeback. UNRIG's very confident. He's very hard to watch. And Defango, I don't really watch him, so, but I'm sure he's hard to watch, because Defango's not easy to look at. But, you know, for me, I just kind of like take a break from those folks. And as you might know, I watched a little bit of the Jason Goodman show today, and I was like, well, I'm not really gonna have much comment on that content, you know. And I like the guy. He seems like a decent guy, but it's very much geared towards the Clinton Trump, you know, it's like news on that news, and I don't have much input on that, folks. I'm not gonna go there, but I have a lot of other things to talk about, and I'm sure it'll be interesting. You know, especially if I get a chance to give Quinn a few pointers on maybe coming on, if he goes on a stream, to make sure he's cut both sides of his head equally, you know? Just little things like that. But I won't have much input on the actual context. Like, I don't have any comment on the Mr. Leaky book or whatever he's reading there. And I have a lot of input on the characters, on Defango, on all the people. I was watching a video where somebody was showing Dave Acton. I mean, he just recently published another book. I mean, these are books, I'm sure nobody reads these darn books. But just to let you kids know that as the guy's, you know, triggering and firing off letters to different government agencies, trying to get, like, courts to do studies on people on YouTube and weird stuff like that. Well, he's also laughing. He's writing books. Like, these people are like, they have no shame. In like 20 years after fighting these people, or, you know, trying to stand up against them, they will have made a career out of it. And the people, you know, that like me, that are just there and keep struggling against them and keep getting all your stuff deleted, and there's many people like me, they will have careers from what they're doing. They're not just doing YouTube. They're also promoting what they're doing on YouTube as some kind of acting, of some kind of a book writing experience, of some kind of a, you know, for them, these people that are in their 60s that used to be in radio and now they're on YouTube, and they're not really successful YouTube creators, but they can write a hell of a lot of books and launch the books and make everything look like, you know, for their time, they make it seem like, you know, they're not just here trolling. Like the Dave Acton story is going to end up being that this guy's going to turn around and say he was a good person on YouTube the whole time and he's just a book writer. And Google's going to help him re-rate that story. And all his friends that stick around here that are, you know, kind of paid to comment and paid to friggin' put out garbage content, well, they're all going to agree with the news story. that he never did anything wrong and he's a good person, just like DeFango's new story. And that's a good thing, is when you hear that story that they never did anything wrong and they're the good person and I'm the problem. Well, you probably could figure that that's, the opposite of that is the truth. So just to let you know, if a person's telling you DeFango's good and I'm bad, well, they're probably working for or with DeFango, trying to help DeFango. And just like UNRIG, people that are going to start to help UNRIG are going to be like, like the other cronies, like the Joe Biggs cronies and stuff like that InfoWars has on the side that'll retweet his stuff or enter into a conversation with him, and yeah, they'll get support. They'll get support from InfoWars for sure. And I don't know. I'll let you know when I see. I'll definitely notice when InfoWars starts helping UNRIG. That'll be easy to see. So yeah, Sissix, yeah, when he looks at Google News, always thinks the exact opposite must be true. And that's a lot of what I do, is I do reverse, like what people tell me, like if it's DeFango and he's telling me something, I'm thinking the opposite's the truth. And then I'm just looking at who DeFango's trying to promote, and I'm looking over there, and why is who's bringing this up before DeFango? But I'm not listening to any of these people's stories anymore. I don't even really want to watch their videos to get any kind of a grasp of what's really going on. I mean, it's pure malarkey. It's like that person that has told you the wrong stories, the wrong direction so many times, and you're still listening to the friggin' person. It's not their fault, man. They're not able to tell you that they're liars, and they can't, they can't help you, man. They're gonna keep saying, yeah. Here's more directions, man. Hey, Michelle, how's it going? Yeah, well, the last video I watched of DeFango, I think he bought himself a new caravan, and he was driving around in a caravan, and I think the next day his caravan blew a tire or something, and it was stranded on the side of the road. But I didn't watch the video. I got bored of DeFango after he hit 14,666 subscribers, and then just lost interest in his pathetic storyline. I'm just waiting for him to get popular again, and then I'm just gonna re-release all the videos when he went terminal and called all his friends out. So it might take him 3-4 more months. And in the meantime, I'm happy to not follow him, and I know he's not really doing anything, and I know he's triggered because UNRIG's going places, and DeFango wanted to do that. DeFango was right on the edge of going somewhere, but he went to DEF CON last year, and I think Dave and the rest of some people friggin' they hounded him, man, and he had gone there. I mean, Rebecca Roth, he took her books, they paid for him to go. Someone paid for DeFango to go to DEF CON, and then he got cyber trolled, probably by Dave and his crew of cronies. So that was just last August, and then between then and now, they totally switched to another. They picked up his friggin' PvP gamer partner, UNRIG, and these guys only have 15,000 subs from gaming every night and getting kids as subs. I hope you know that. Their subs are under 18, and that's why they can have, dodo bird live streams that give epilepsy, and nobody really notices that the information's really probably not very good, because the people telling you are the same people that lied you know, 20 other times on YouTube on video. Like, you gotta understand, someone that's inventing it, who's involved in like a puzzle, and then becomes like, you know, a person that's presenting the information, but then is actually creating the puzzles, presenting the every time he did a video like that, he was bold-faced, deceiving everyone. You can't say that you're, you know, oh, I was, you know, here I am ratting everyone else out now, I'm a good person. That's not how deceiving people goes, man. A lot of people suffered from that QAnon and that cicada shit. That cicada puzzle stuff is like so creepy as hell, man. And whatever. I wouldn't mislead people with nonsense and knowingly have kids running around looking for spears of destiny and garbage like that. I wouldn't do that to people, man. Yeah, UNRIG gained, well, he's going to gain another 1,500 subs. And don't worry, InfoWars can buy him 1,000 subs. It only costs like $80 for 1,000 subs or something. It's not even expensive anymore. The problem is that when they have too many subs and then nobody watches their videos, they lose credibility. And that's why, you know, Monty was out saying that everybody doesn't have views to the amount of subs they have, and there's a percentage of about 20% of views to subs, you know. But that's true with any channel older than, you know, 2 years old. Most of those people have quit YouTube that were subbed up, because YouTube is not a, like, the people that stay are the slathers, you know, the wackadoodles, man. Normal people see this going on and just back out, man, and they're gone, man. They go get a job and they freaking have a happy life. And then they come on YouTube and watch some videos about how to fix something, and they don't follow the newscasters and the freaks and the people that are triggered telling you how it is. Like, I mean, some people are so abrasive that even if they, you know, even if they told me something, it's like the way that they're telling me is like, dude, I don't want help from people like that. So it's like a failed experiment over here for the it's basically like the end of YouTube, and YouTube's gonna be more like, you know, the next generation of YouTube is gonna be an interactive platform with a lot less original idea content. You know, you're gonna see a lot more group-based ideas and group-based followings. Oh, there's a gamer with 89,000 subs, 889,000 subs, and he drove a $500,000 car. Well, if he crashed the car, maybe he had insurance. But a lot of things, you know, on YouTube, people are LARPing. It might have just been a Fiero engine and a body of a Ferrari and a Fiero, and he crashed it, and he's pretending like it's a $500,000 car, and that's the whole friggin' LARP for him, you know, is to pretend that. I can't tell you, I can't speak to it because I didn't see it, but there's a lot of deception on YouTube, and then the numbers are weird, and then people can just be, I mean, I believe very little about the people on YouTube, and, you know, certainly when someone thinks they're famous on YouTube, like I saw a real psychic channel I was watching today, and it's a little girl from Quebec, I can tell because she has a French accent, But it just showed up in my recommended, because my channel name's Psychic LARP, you know, so I get real psychics recommended to me. And interesting, man, interesting. But it's like, whatever, 150,000 subs. A lot of these channels that just do what they, you know, they don't. I think she was talking about negative energy and how negative energy vampires, you know. But her first comment is that she wasn't going to point out any of the negative energy vampires. She was just going to talk about the negative energy and how it is. And that's what you're going to have, is a lot of politically correct people that go places and that their content gets promoted as, you know, YouTube content. And the whole abrasive content is going to be removed. And it's going to be removed under the guise of too much pizza, too much, you know, calling people, you know, you can't slander people with criminal accusations in public forum and think there's not going to be some kind of recourse. So it's too bad people weren't more level-headed, you know. And it seems like in America now, everyone's going to call every politician the worst names ever. I mean, it's just so over the top. Like, you're calling politicians, telling people they're eating babies and that they're rapists and that they're pedophiles. It's the next level of madness. And you know, when they're in their government position, they're calling them the honorable said so and so, the honorable this person, the honor. It's only when they get on YouTube and Facebook and social media, basically in the hands of Google, all of a sudden, Jesus Murphy, everyone's friggin' eating babies. That's not gonna pan out. I mean, I can already see that. So that's how we maintain our position as the Psychic LARP channel, is that basically I just see ahead of these people. Like, I see the whole website as just a web page, you know what I mean? And some people I can tell, they see it as like an actual library somewhere that they can go sit down in, that's in the United States of America. And I'm like seeing it more as an evolved, you know, telephone system and a bunch of computers and a, you know, Uncle Google that's defrauding me from a real audience by filtering me through its algorithm and forcing me to be viewed by, you know, only the same people that I view, and so on. So it's like basically, you know, a small group of people that are seeing our videos from the TWOOF movement and nobody else. And I think over time my little UK experiment's going to pan out, especially if I pick up even 20 subs from the UK. And when I'm on, you know, when I get sick of the USA server in September, and when they start pivoting towards their madness election, well, I'll still have friends that are not connected to that nonsense. And when I talk about it in my way, which is non-political, and I would talk the same about the elections in Canada. Wait until there's a Canadian. I mean, I just don't talk about the Canadian elections because they're so pathetic. I mean, it's like I already knew who was going to win in 2010 when I knew that guy Trudeau was going to win. When Jack Layton got cancer, I knew that, you know, Trudeau was once in his party as the leader. And then he got cancer and he didn't go in the party. No, he stayed a Liberal. Yeah, because he was planning to win against the jabroni that would get elected in the place of Mr. Layton, who had passed away with prostate cancer. So, Canada is like such a small country, and watching the politicians, I actually know the politicians in Canada. Like, it's not like America where you guys have 300 million people and every state is like the country of Canada's population. No, man, like, I know my member of parliament. Like when, you know, like let's say if someone calls and makes complaints about me and my dogs, and it gets to somebody in the city, like I know the people in the municipal government, I know that Canada's not a big place, you know, and if you're an outspoken person, or if you're a well-known person, you've met these people, you know, it's not like America. So that's all. It's like when things get hot and they start talking about American politics, I'm gonna be so happy to have 20 people in the UK or 20 people in Australia where I can go watch their content. I can see what other people looking into the fishbowl are seeing, and not just like be trapped as an American, you know, on the US server, thinking that I'm gonna affect if some kind of change is gonna happen by what I'm doing. You know, I'm not gonna fall into that. I'm not gonna spend 2 months building up to the Trump election and not even talk bad about the guy. I'm not gonna cover it. So you know, and I'll do other stuff at the same time. It'll be perfect. It'll be a great time for me to I mean, while these clowns are covering the elections, I can cover them, you know what I'm saying? And we'll see what happens. I mean, it's starting to be pretty obvious on YouTube who is who and who's with who. So it's only getting easier to, you know, I mean, peck, 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 the woodpecker, you know? It's if they're all on the same team, you just, it's not a big mystery. Hey, good morning, Quantum Epic. Nice to see you. And fantastic when the American Trump train heats up. Because I'm a non-political channel, I'm gonna wish him good luck, and I'm gonna wish all the Americans great luck choosing their president. And I'm gonna cover something else, like Jordan Slather's rise to fame, or Tracy Bean's rise to fame. Or I'll cover, maybe I'll reform Quinn, and I'll send him in to take out George Webb. Not George Webb, Dave Acton. Get him, you know, like how Dave Acton showed up on all this streams, just popped up and ruined everything. Well, two can play that game. Set him off. We send him over into the little town and find out where Dave lives, and he can start camping in front of Dave's house if he becomes homeless. And we'll live stream from in front of Dave's house. Quinn Michaels homeless on the front yard, no longer looking for somewhere to stay in the Shasta Mountains. He's found a city location, and we'll take it from there. Everyone can serve a purpose, you know. Lady Court Tales, what we'll do right now is we'll be very quiet and we'll talk. Do you want me to play some relaxing music instead of talking? All of a sudden I'll just cut out, and even if you want to listen to this stream going on, babbling about sweet nothings, you won't be able to, because it'll be relaxing music. Then you just fall asleep. What do you think of my new setup? I moved my bed into the middle of the room for the first time. We're going full hotel ambiance. Good night, and I'll see you tomorrow, Lady Courtails. If you see me around the USA server, I mean, people are gonna wonder, hey, what's he doing there? So I'll try not to do anything crazy, man. Keep our stream nice and calm like it's been. So yeah, this bloody thing at the bottom here, this counter, it's really not very it's not representing us well here with only 4% achieved, when in fact we've already achieved 100% of the 100. It was a counter to get 100 subs, and we're already at 160. So I'm gonna have to reset it again, and basically I'm gonna set it for 300 subs in the month of September. And basically I usually get about 10 subs a day, unless unless things go bad, my power goes out, whatever. So we'll see if we can keep the magic happening. Nice, a good 10 subs that watch YouTube, that are present, and that comment. Really makes my channel really enjoyable for me, because I would do these videos. I just do videos, so I'm used to doing content and having no participation. So just imagine, it's like somebody was watching my video from the second-hand store, because I told a few people that I'm a sheriff of YouTube, and he was like, he was saying it's a pretty personal group, and I had trouble following along who people were that you were talking about. And I was like, yeah, like if you're not on YouTube like more than 300 hours a year, it's difficult to follow the content that they get away with it for everybody else. They don't even notice those people, and they just keep on coming back. And then the people with just a little bit of watch time, they never realize that Fractal Truth and Truth Inferno that put out all the Cappy videos, that's a scam. That one guy puts out every video from Cappy, and it's not Cappy. No, it's a team where that's the InfoWars guy is that's what his job is to put out the Cappy videos and to make with his 14,000 subs. And Truth Inferno, check it out yourselves. And Fractal Truth, well, he put out a cicada video just recently with a radio in his basement with a friggin' old, dirty, old dead cicada attached to the radio. I felt so bad, like 30 years of looking for a mate, and you die in some guy's basement attached to the radio. So, but he was all happy to have the cicada thing out. So, that Fractal Truth, I mean, it could be anybody who could have put out a cicada video at any point and got, however many views, 200,000 views, maybe 4,000 subs. Just people just sign up, and then you erase all the videos, and like a year later, nobody knows what it is you put out that helped you gain all those subs. But it's likely, if you're a channel and you don't make content, and you just fart around the bottom of the internet where I am, and you do a cicada, you definitely know the cicada people, and you're definitely impressed by them, and you're like, it's like the little Scott Bibler style where, oh, great job, and then they both shamelessly pat each other on the back, and there's some kind of groomers for cicada and for multi-channel networking, but not necessarily in a good way, like in the multi-channel network that tries to contain the TOOF movement, the bunch of clowns that tried to bring out VOP and push it out as something that we should be looking out for. It's going viral and making videos. So you'll see over time, kids, you'll have a good understanding of the people, and then all of a sudden they'll say something and you'll be like, whoa, wait a minute, because of you last year saying this and this, like when I hear these people say this, I recognize that's likely not true news. Like that doesn't sound possible. And then right there I just feel vindicated, And it doesn't happen right away with people. But as you go through and you see these people over time, and there's all kinds of stories out now that, this person is this person and that person is that person. Everyone's working together. Everyone's friggin' people are on, it's a country thing. It's a political thing. It's just you know, you just want to disrupt the truth movement. So there's all these stories out, and people got to take everything in. And the cuckoo bird stories make, you know, a person look stronger in the end, because when you investigate them, you realize they ain't true. You gotta stop taking things at face value on YouTube, including what I say and what the people say around me, and just take it into consideration and look for yourself. It's real important that you look for yourself. And over time, obviously, I just present so much information that it becomes overwhelming, and that's how I see it, is as an overwhelming, you know, there's not really a chance once I see something and I have all this, you know, this understanding of the person. People don't change that much. Like, you're not going to find a guy that's ripping people off all of a sudden saving people a year later. You know, like, you're going to find a person, the same person saving people a year ago is still trying to save people. And maybe they're not doing a good job, you know, but you can tell the people, and then you can tell the people that are selling snake oil, because they've been selling snake oil for a long time, and the good ones have made it. So there's a little bit of, you know, I mean, the snake oil is, a salesman is obviously making it if he's a good one, and the bad ones are just, nobody notices them anyways. Nobody cares about failed scammers, because they're not scamming anybody. But people, you know, when someone's a successful scammer, well, on YouTube, well, that's not a great position to have, because a lot of people kind of pay attention. Good morning, Treach. You made it, baby. You made it. Well, we're having a lovely stream, and I've been talking to people during the day. I was talking to Lord LARP Wars. He's telling me that, yes, James, you are basically, it's not possible to cover your stream and to do a daylight, you know, life in the United States, because it's way too early in the morning. So I've found the perfect blend between my happiness on YouTube and having people that watch my videos and follow along, and not having certain people follow along at the same time as I'm doing the video. Man, this is genius level, you know, global manipulation, man. Flat earth, ball earth, you know, cone earth, whatever it is, I'm all over the place, and it's good for me. So this is good. This is, I mean, you know, John Travolta has his own jet. You know, he's got a private jet with gold buckles and stuff. Like, if you're gonna crash, you put on the gold buckles. Click, click. Because I actually been on his jet. And I used to clean jets and planes in Vancouver. And he used to park his, he used to always have his jet cleaned. And I used to go on there and have myself a little Sprite from his little jet bar, and sit in the old gold belt buckle seats. There's like 20 seats on it, and they all have gold belt buckles. And yeah, he's got to go all around the world to hit all these time zones, man. I'm just here on YouTube, man, from my bedroom. This is friggin', this is, I mean, if people 20 years ago on welfare could see me now, I'm like doing world tours, man, without even leaving my bedroom. $40 a month for internet connection. Well, I guess my internet's probably $80 a month. And I think it's $70 a month on my phone. And $80 from my house. But that's the price of staying, you know, connected with the what's turning out to be a basically what I'm seeing happening is that a lot of people are realizing just how much low down, dirty people are on YouTube, and it's not just the scams, it's actually the people, because they would invent a new scam, and they will invent a new scam that you'll all take part in witnessing the shameless promotion of. But I think the people are noticing it, and they're just saying to themselves, like, you know what, this and they realizing that you can't win against people. Like, there's no shame, especially if they get a chance to reinvent themselves. Like, if they don't present their face as an avatar, well, they'll come back as someone else, and they'll keep on, and they'll be better at scamming, so they don't get caught this time with their next personality, like Mr. Gunk's trying to do, and Freedom for Truth, or whatever these people are trying to do. They just keep coming back, change their channel name, come back. You know, make all your videos private and change your channel name for a couple months, and then come back. You know, people are seeing that, and I think it's getting to that point where, like, on MySpace too, there was a point on MySpace in like 2009 when it was just like, what the hell is this crap? It was just whack. And then pretty much nobody was signing up for it anymore, and people were just like passing out photos. It was like pre-Facebook, so they would just let anyone send anyone photos, and basically everyone got sick of the friggin' website. So with Facebook, well, basically they developed this liking system, you know, where you're basically liking this. So Facebook roped in a whole bunch of people, man, making people happy. Oh, you want to be happy? Well, Facebook knows what you like, and they know what all your friends like, so they just friggin' made you happy. And then they ran a bunch of experiments on the side, like with me. They tried to trigger me and turn me into some kind of a friggin' political militant, you know, and I was just like, I'm not interested in any of this crap on Facebook, man. And I just left and went to Twitter. And then Twitter had the Arab Springs, and then you know, so I was witnessed all that, and then Twitter became complete garbage, man. Like, so garbage that you can see now that most of the people that are complete LARPs on YouTube are active as hell on Twitter. Because it's even easier to pretend you have real friends on Twitter when everyone on Twitter is friggin' just an icon. And you never hear anyone's voice. You never see anyone's face. So Twitter's like, it's only for people that like to live in a Sims style world. You know, if you like to actually think that there's real people around you like I do, and that people are accountable, well, you don't go on a place like Twitter, and you definitely don't get any information from clowns that are on Twitter, passing around information from Pamper Anon, and Anonymous, what is it called? An enema and anonymous. How could I combine those two words? Anemona? Man, I'm gonna make a new channel, man. It's gonna, we're getting close to a new channel name with this. Anemona. I mean, it's even hard for me to say. I better write this down in the chat so I remember it. This is friggin' genius level. I'm sick of these anonymous people, man. I'm sick of everyone that's anonymous. I just want them to friggin' go back to friggin' to Occupy Wall Street, where the CIA became anonymous, and I just stopped being interested in anyone that would, you know, try and clown me with some information and tell me that they're, you know, anonymous, and you don't even hear their voice. And then when they talk on the phone, well, Jesus Christ, it's some dude from the it's some English dude, not even a Scottish dude. It's like an English dude. So the mind control in all these countries is very strong. So if you let people drift from the UK and vice versa from America, and apply some of their techniques on the population in the UK, and vice versa for a guy from UK apply some to the, it's very easy for these people to mislead, or to, you know, they're not as easy to read by the original population. So that's why they try every once in a while to put out in the American market, they'll put out an English dude speaking, you know, with a heavy accent, and they'll see there's a lot of people that want to hear that voice and that accent and want that. And then there's other people where it just turns them off, you know. So, but they do definitely try and have, they try and cover all ends of the spectrum. And obviously, you know, using characters from other markets is part of manipulation, you know. If someone's good for you in England, but they're not really getting over on the English people, but they're, you know, people in America seem to like them, well, they might be able to get over a bit more on those Americans because of their fact that they don't really see them or understand them as much as they would, let's say, someone that they would look at and say, well, that's could be my neighbor, you know. And the English accent to some people, you know, is like, oh, it's like somebody special's talking. So I'm sure they play that out too. They try and, you know, offer the USA market a little bit of that educated English. I like the way the English people sound. It sounds amazing. And J-Man, well, let me tell you, that Australian accent and the New Zealand accent, just wonderful, man. Way better than friggin' anything they got in Canada or UK or America. Well, America's got a pretty cool southern accents. You know, the New York accent's not, it's not cool. And the California accent's a little bit metro gone, you know, like no more Metro Man kind of thing. We've gone straight transgender over there in Cali. But I like that Australian accent, man. Real cool, man. Searching for truth. Yes, it gives an aspect of life that you never normally see. Swamp People is cool. You know, when I used to watch TV, Swamp People was really amazing because these shows were all starting up, you know, at a point. And when like in the first seasons, they were all like, "What the frick is this? These people are really hunting alligators." Remember that guy that used to have a little pistol in his? He always goes in the water and he has a little pistol here and he has his dog on the boat. One time he lost his dog and he had to go back the next day. The dog was friggin' hanging on some marsh. I mean, these people are... I seen him fall in the water with an alligator and then shoot it while he's in the water with his little pistol. And, I mean, that's real amazing television. And a lot of these people could, like a lot of people on YouTube could create content like that on YouTube now. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not far for you guys have to see that you don't have to pitch your show to a network anymore. If you're going to create a show, you can present it on YouTube, you know. Maybe you get in touch with a few people that have real channels and don't try and, you know, make the show and make a channel right just like that. You might need some kind of a marketing group that gets you a certain amount of presence. But all these History Channel shows and Discovery Channel shows and the way that they were done is basically what's available on YouTube now, you know. And especially with respect to YouTube offering you sound, like you can go to any city and YouTube has like a studio for you. There's one in Montreal, I'm sure, where if you have over 100,000 subs that you can go there and use their equipment and they'll help you make whatever your dream is. They don't have any ideas. That's the problem. So they don't want to get rid of all the content creators, and most of the ones that are, you know, that are at the top of the food chain, I mean, they're friggin', I mean, space cadets, most of them. I mean, I don't know if you watched any of these channels with checks on them. Some of them are hard to watch. I'm sorry. Yeah, well, Cities of the Underworld. Yeah, was that where people used to go and they used to go and go to the different cities, and they would go in all the tunnels, or they would go in any kind of, you know, it was like kind of searching underground to lost passages. It was pretty cool, man, because then they would show all these cities underground. I think Germany had some pretty cool ones, and Austria and stuff like that. But in Montreal, there's whole kind of cities underground because we got a metro system. So, you know, like there's all kinds of service entrances and stuff. And I know I'm sure if you're homeless, you have access to all that stuff. But I like my AC, man. I ain't going underground. Friggin' get stuck, trapped under the friggin' city of Montreal, man. Forget it. Might have thought that was fun way back, but I was more into motorcycles than exploring. Okay, Turkey, yeah, so building, so it is similar to the show I'm thinking about, yeah. Well, you can find that kind of content on YouTube now. I mean, if you don't see the show on history, it's because there's probably people on YouTube that are doing a better job, and they're just waiting to friggin' steal their ideas and make a rerun on History Channel with the guy from YouTube's ideas. Yeah, it's kind of cool if you move away from the madness, and you know, and look around YouTube, you'll start to see that there's, you know, it's competitive. You know, when you're talking about the TV content and then the Netflix content and then the YouTubers that have checks and have been doing this for like 4 or 5 years and have been monetized and have like 1 million subs. Oh, it's like pretty much like a TV network. Some of them have YouTube Red channels that, you know, that actually took off, and what that means is that people pay a monthly amount, and I think they just get direct content from you without any kind of advertisements. And I think YouTube gives you a large percentage of that monthly amount that's being charged to the people to subscribe. So all these different models took off for certain people, you know? And hey, it's not terrible if someone's doing a show. Like if you're doing a TV show on YouTube, and you have, you know, obviously commercials, and you maybe have some kind of paid for in the programming, you know, like something where there's something commercial that you're advertising, and then you're not actually trying to present your show to a movie station or NBC or CBC. You're like, forget all them, and you're an artist, and you just make a show and you present it on YouTube. Well, why wouldn't you expect to make as much money as a TV, you know, company that would doing that? So you're gonna see a lot more of that opening up. And then the people that have, like, you know, that are stuck on the idea of that people in the truth, and then you gotta just be a certain kind of a way. Well, there's just so much more evolution beyond what we're seeing as you know, a handful, 500, you know, YouTube viewers, maybe 2,000 YouTube viewers. Oh, thanks, Major Flat D. And yeah, we're whipping butter on the tubes, and we're saying positive things about people. We're pro-Trump. We're pro everyone in America taking care of electing whoever they want, and I'm not even going to say one word about it. I'm going to be pro them, and I'm going to be whoever the runner-up is. I'm going to be pro him too for a second, but that's it, a second on each. And when America's talking about elections, I'm going to be focusing on something else altogether, and I'll let people know what it's going to be. And I'm gonna try and move away from all these, you know, this whole ICQ population of opinionated wackos. So stay tuned. You know, if you didn't like my reaction to Gargamel the White and the Mexican tent cherry picker, well, get ready, because we're gonna be cutting dinghies off the tugboat and letting people fare their own way down the stream. You know what I mean? It's getting so toxic over here on YouTube is that I'm starting to be like, well, some of the people I saved are like, they hate me. It's like I just want to make my own path and figure out my own way and not try and... The people that are here, I don't know which ones, and I'm not going to try and fix or save or, you know, my content. I'll create it for people that aren't here yet. And hope for the best, man. Hope other people don't get roped in. So, what's a good question from the chat? Please, nothing about the Fango. And don't mention Rumpelstiltskin. Remember 3 times and the friggin' guy friggin' come out of a coma. So, so far we're 3 days in a row. I think someone must have told him, you know, you're taking a lot of damage going in his chat in the middle of the morning when, you know, you're saying he's telling you to leave him alone, that he's in the UK, and you're saying that he's bothering you and you're over. So I think he's figured it out. He's stopped coming. So, hey, man. We're winning, kids. We're winning. We're winning small battles every day. And this is day 3. So, what do you think, man? Kevin Bacon. What do you think he's going to want to talk about when I call him? I got a feeling he's going to want to talk about Steam It. The conversation is just going to... I'll have to figure out a way to get this guy to talk about something else. Yeah, the history in school, Michelle, it's amazing because I think the history in school that we were taught was like a lot better because it was in books, and they only started rewriting, you know, like school books used to be passed down. It was like the same book for like 6-7 years. You know, 10 years, the same book in each grade. So people all thought the same thing. And then in like 99, they just started rewriting books every 2 years. Like, you'd be in the same class as your older sibling, and all of a sudden it's a new book like 6 months later. It's like, what the hell? You can't even share books. So they started, you know, around 2000 to just like rewrite things as like in the present time, rewriting, you know, just a year ago. Or maybe 4 years ago, you know, 5 years ago. And now they're down to rewriting shit like last month. They're already rewriting it. Like, it's in Snopes. It's all out there. There's all kinds of reversed engineered, you know, data out there for all these points where it's just a whole bunch of crazy layered on with their story and the other story, and both sides, they control both sides. And it's happening so fast that people aren't even able to see how fast it's happening now. They're just confused, and they just start not to question anything. So the whole Antarctica story, eh? It is an amazing story. Like how all the countries have treaties, and it's divvied up into so many different parts. It's one of those amazing stories that through through time, like 10 years, through my adult life, it's always been like one of those question stories where you wonder, what's going on over there? But they're stuff on the dark side of the moon story. Well, that one's not so interesting anymore. That one played itself out, I think, with the fake moon landings. And I mean, if you're American and hooray, 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 you believe the moon landings are all real, well, then just disregard what I'm saying and know that 50% of the people that are watching this stream are basically saying to themselves, okay, that's enough for this guy. He's nuts, because they believe it's true. And that's why they keep it out there, and they keep pushing, they're never going to let go of these stories. It's part of the whole process that you can never really these major actions that caused say a world war or an invasion, you can never undo the story totally. Like, it always just remains as the the original story always remains out there in some form or another. I mean, they'll load 10 other stories onto it, but that original story is out there, and that's the story that's the one that's not going to get erased in the future. And the other ones are dropping off. A couple months later, that story disappears, the other one, and then there's just the mainstream media story. And it was cool on YouTube like 6 years ago, where stuff would come out and you would do a story and you there was traction for your opinion against, because there wasn't that much people watching this platform. Yeah, I hope that Texas has a good outcome, and Texas is an amazing country or state, very strong-willed people. So I want them to get what they want, man. I don't want them to be triggered, man. They all got weapons. I mean, if someone's not gonna get what they want, I hope it's Iowa or Ohio, where Pete Santilli lives there. Take it all away from Ohio, unless unless you really like Ohio, then we'll go with Oklahoma. And yeah, so I watched a little bit of the Fullerton Informer, Richie from Boston's sidekick there. And he's interesting. Him too, he's doing 2-hour live streams, like I can't follow 2-hour live streams of these other people. But he's an interesting guy, he's interesting. He's a lot better than Pete Santilli. Better than Richie from Boston, as far as I'm concerned. And a lot of these channels with these older gentlemen, there is no more TWOF movement, so they're just spinning off to being political kind of attaché kind of political, news kind of trying to be perfect. News kindergarten, I call it. Yeah, so it sure is nice to do a stream and then to have all like, this is great, eh, Treach? It's like another world, man, over here in the UK. It's like if this was a USA stream, I mean, somebody would already friggin' come in with the flat Earth and wanted to take names and put people out of their misery. I think once they start going in, I already figured out something to do on my channel that's going to be a lot cooler than the elections. Okay, check this out, kids. So when the elections start up, I'm going to go deep cover, and I'm going to try and locate Jeff C. So, you know, like, I'm obviously, I'm going to be like one of these cool YouTube private investigators. So I'm going to basically locate this dude. He lives around my house somewhere. And, you know, we'll do like a Waldo thing where I'll take pictures of him while he's at the Starbucks and stuff. You know, I won't let the YouTube scumbaggery know exactly where he lives, but we'll get to the bottom of it. We'll make it fun. We'll do little stakeouts at the local Starbucks near his house and see if we catch his ass. And nobody's seen him, so you know, we'll have to like ask people questions as they leave, you know, so that we hear their voice. And we'll be like, yeah, it's one of these 200 customers. And we'll send them a bunch of Starbucks gift cards, man. We'll send them like 20 Starbucks gift cards, and then we'll stake out the Starbucks in Point Claire. Won't be long, kids. Won't be long. That'll be fun. I'll bring the kids what they want over here on YouTube, man. I'm gonna talk about frickin' Trump or frickin' Trudeau. That's for darn sure. You can leave that to the CBC and CNN. And the Anunnaki, yeah, we're not gonna go on Anunnaki church. We're not gonna reinvestigate Nibiru or Anunnaki. Not because I don't love those. I love that those stories are amazing. It's wonderful. But I just, you know, you can't actually follow everything. You have to make a choice on this server. And so, and some things, like if you start following lizard people, it becomes a, obviously when you make it to the mainstream, they talk about that and they want your opinion on it. So you gotta, it's better for me to just say, I really don't know, man. I know there's a lot of, that's what I tell people. I say, I know there's a lot of crazy stuff on YouTube. Why don't you go check it out and let me know what's going on over there? Because from what I saw, it looked weird. And then I just let them tell me whatever they see. And then it's like, yeah, I guess I was right. You know? And then I say, I don't go on Facebook. And then they just figure I don't go on YouTube too. And they save themselves. But obviously when I'm at the secondhand store, you know, I'm like, yeah, hey, I'm the sheriff of YouTube, man, check it out. And these people all come back like 2 days later and they're like, I watched your video. And then it's weird because when people actually know you and then they watch the videos, it is like, it's different because I don't even talk to these people this much, you know. And I see them like in person and I know them as humans. And then as for the Sims life, well, hey, it's like an open book over here on YouTube. And people will come in and ask you, how do you feel about this? I mean, Uncle Google knows, they know my vote before I make it over here. Especially with these, you know, people that are in your club or in your group or whatever it seems to be, the loose gathering of people that you subscribe to. Well, I mean, if they're asking you a million questions, I mean, Google bots figuring you out, man. They know what you like to eat. They know what you want as a last dinner, and you know, pre-crime. I mean, they're gonna put people in jail in 10 years, and they're gonna feed them what they wanted for a last dinner. It's gonna happen in like under an hour. Like they know what you want for dinner. You're already arrested, man. You didn't even hurt anyone yet. It's like 10 years down the road. They're like saving energy. They're like, all right, he's gonna do that. All right, give him his dinner. Boom, bing, bang, reprocessed, man. Probably figure out a way to make money off of. If they can make stem cells out of an old, dirty old body, man, look out, kids. We're in for trouble, man. You know, if they can reprocess old into stem cells, big bucks, man. They're turning on the blenders, man. And you go to the hospital to get a shot, and the next thing you know, you find yourself on the parts table, you know, parts removal. They don't call it operating anymore at that point. Basically, you're young enough to re-grow your own body parts, or they're breaking you down, man. They're parting you out. No need for that. So, tomorrow's Sunday. I'm gonna go to a little festival tomorrow, so maybe I'll have some garlic to show you guys. It's a little garlic picking festival. You know, it's that time of year when they pick up all the garlics. So, I've been looking forward to it. Well, good, ladies. You guys need to start filming some of this stuff, and I can just friggin' we can all leave the Toof movement, man. We'll become one of these mystery channels, you know, with supernatural. I mean, I've just been waiting to put that in one of my titles, you know, China the 3, supernatural. And then I can have you two girls on the side making videos, and then I'll be like, wizard supernatural, and we'll make it happen. But obviously we gotta have some content of some supernatural shit, you know. We're not gonna just be making it up. What's that, a Ouija board? I used to have a Ouija board, and I would tell my friends, yeah, I just leave it over there just to see if, like, a girl says, oh, let me see that Ouija board. I'm like, uh-huh, perfect. Now I know. And basically it was like just, you know, just kept me abreast of people that are visually are non-demonic. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily like people that are reaching in towards the spirit world, looking to communicate, you know. I try and avoid those types. And you never really know, you know. It's not a question you can ask someone, but obviously if they see a Ouija board and they get all excited, well, you know, it's time to go. It's time to get into a public place. Possibly save yourself at a Starbucks. I mean, for sure, if I lived in Florida, I would definitely stake out Farmer Jones and his Starbucks that he goes to every morning, and I'd get some kind of a, you know, like one of those transmitter jammers that they have in these friggin' spy shops. And like every time I'd see him doing a live stream, I'd be recording and I'd put the jammer on, you know. And I'd upload all these videos of like him being at the Starbucks freaking out, going inside asking for new passwords. Not able to live stream anymore, you know. I mean, I think the guy's only internet connection is pretty much Starbucks. I don't think his mom lets him have the password, you know. He's got his cell phone, and then if he wants to upload stuff, he goes to the Starbucks and he uses the Wi-Fi, you know. When he's at mom's house, no Wi-Fi. She doesn't want that. She wants her, she saves the Wi-Fi for Mahjong tournaments. I know what's going on there, and you know, if you're living with your mom in Florida, you're pretty much retired. The both of you are retired, man. She's your sponsor. It's a dual retirement. I mean, I hope my mom calls me up and like, yeah, come live at my condo. I'd be like, oh shit, man, this is it. It's like I made it to the big leagues. Fucking retire like Farmer Jones, man. When do I start my Starbucks fund? Spin the bottle used to be cool back in the day. I wouldn't want to play that anymore. It's cool like when you were 16 and everybody was like 16, you know? But be kind of scary playing it with people on YouTube for sure. Or what is it, Truth or Dare, you know? Jesus, Murphy. Stay away from these games, man. Stay away from these games if you're over 18. So, Treach, what's up for the, what's on the plan there tomorrow? Maybe we'll head this stream to a close there for, try and shut her down around 6 a.m. for the good people. Obviously, on Sunday morning, you're not going to expect to have anyone waking up and joining in, you know. We're not children here. This is not the cartoons. Remember the cartoons on the weekend? I used to get up at like 8 a.m. and eat cereal and watch this coyote stuff. But people don't do that anymore. So being that it's Sunday, everyone's going to be sleeping in. And what I'm gonna do is we're gonna end the stream nice and early, and me being nice and fresh tomorrow, I'm gonna go in there and see what I can conjure up in the way of next week's itinerary. Thinking of getting some kind of whiteboard, you know, so I can mark down. Put down the different things, the itinerary, so I can stay focused. And then I saw that stream that Showhammer did yesterday, Treach. You know, everybody was in it. It was pretty interesting stream. Saw about 30 minutes of it. Yeah, Treach, actually, I might have met about 10 people last month, and I'd say Treach is one of the good 4 that I met. And unfortunately, you know, people can recognize that, you know, in the last month I've also tried to help Truth Convoy, and a lot of people subscribe to her. And I ate a lot of pain out of that, and so did a lot of other people. So, you know, even if you like someone or I like someone, everybody make a decision, you know, make friends, make understandings with people as you go on your own. And hopefully, well, it's not hard to turn out better than that example. I mean, for sure, some people are very opinionated, and it's better not to help them or to communicate with them and get involved, because they'll get hella pissed at you if you don't do things their way. Oh, look at that. We're getting IW11 vlogs. Well, Treach, you know what? You could definitely do live streams yourself, and you know, there's a lot of different. You'll definitely figure it out, and it's different when you do it by yourself, but than doing it with a bunch of people, because you're not, you know, holding like a banter or a conversation. So you gotta kind of fill in the blanks and keep things going in a kind of a, you know, in a direction. But you obviously you get better, and you got to do them a bit on your own. It's basically like doing a video live, so it's something you could do. you feel good once you get used to doing them, and then you can do, you know, once I get on a computer, I can do it like where I'm, you know, showing the screen and my pointer's there, and I can go through different things. But this form of live stream where you're just talking to the camera, it's good practice for talking to the camera. So, IW11 Vlogs. Any relation to our friend there, High Impact Vlogs? Yeah, and Treach, that's a good point where, you know, where it is likely that if you have like a stream and you let anyone on, it's very likely that the people that are that most want to speak out and most want to put their voice out are people that are seeing what's happening and you're saying and want to, you know, they want to kind of contain it. So you always find where at first that open concept will go good, but when things, you know, start going in a good direction, well, that open platform will be the way that they come in and destroy you. You know, basically, it's more difficult for them to make friends with you and then destroy you than just showing up and friggin' all of a sudden, you know, they can really put, you know, make you look stupid. Like, that's pretty much what Jason Goodman is saying, that basically he was, you know, with George Webb's scenario, that he was getting bad information, that he was making him look stupid, that, yeah, he did want to succeed in a, you know, in a multimedia news sense, and he thought that he was getting good information from the people around him in the George Webb camp. But then he's saying now that he's recognizing that these people were deceiving him, and at his own, you know, peril, obviously, calling in a nuclear bomb scare. I mean, you can do a lot of stupid things on YouTube, but if you're calling people and telling them there's nuclear bomb scare and then they're actually shutting down a port, I mean, that's not good. So, I believe, you know, when you're a grown man, some things are not forgivable. And, I mean, if people clown me, I ain't gonna let them clown me again. So, obviously, it's not easy to fake being angry at a person and fake these, if it is you know, a scam. It's not easy to be. Like, I got news for you. When people are scamming, it's pretty easy for a lot of people to see that they're faking it. So, it's, you know, I tend to believe when people are upset with the likes of Dave Acton and DeFango. I mean, I'm even pissed at DeFango because of the way that he, you know, attacked me back in June 2016 when he was first making it and arriving and had all these, he could do anything and he was a big hacker and I would never find out. And, you know, look at how the server really is. It's like, I pretty much, you know, I'm stuck in the middle with them. The server is the same thing. Yeah, so, Gorgeous Truth. I like that title, man. I love it, man. Gorgeous Truth. And not everyone can make a comeback after a film camera sale. Did you see that? I guess it was on Craigslist. He sold some cameras for like $26,000. And, you know, the guy has 900 patrons. So, Doesn't need to sell camera, even if they're all giving them, you know, I'm sure some of them are giving them $5 a month. So he doesn't need to sell cameras. I mean, I'm sure rent in New York, frig, is like 50 grand a year. Don't kid yourself. It's like 4 grand a month for like an apartment in New York. 5 grand a month. So hey, hopefully he has some other backers. It's not just purely going on friggin' $1 at a time off Patreon. But I guess it depends what level of detail and what level. If you want to cover this whole Trump story and the whole running up to the news, and this is borderline mainstream news coverage, and yeah, people, you might want to just go get a job for one of the news stations and get paid to do that. I mean, it's friggin', it's probably a lot of work for very little reward of covering that madness. And then, of course, everyone, doesn't matter who you cover. If you're covering the elections, there's always a 50% chance that you're wrong about everything you're talking about. So it's not even a good subject to cover unless you got some kind of interest. And as for me, it's like, not really interested in covering the subject just to be out first so that I can get views, you know? Because on this server it's important. Like, if you see things coming out and you're the first person to talk about it and to put out a video about it, I mean, that's another way to get subs. That's another way to get visibility, is to be one of the first people on YouTube putting out ideas and such. I remember it was like just, like when, what's his name there, STD Reports lost his channel. I was online when it happened, so I saw someone, you know, it's one of my followers, or one of the person I was following, I think it was Grindle61, that had put out a video that he lost his channel. And then, like, within 10 minutes I made a video, and then it took like 10 minutes to upload it, so 20 minutes. But you can see that in the algorithm, if you're out, you know, within the first 10 minutes of a story breaking on YouTube, and some stories only break on YouTube, well, that's a good way to, you know, exercise like what speed you are and how quickly you can upload something, because that all is a factor with respect to the algorithm. And yeah, I'd love to, you know, sometimes you just figure things out just from seeing it happen. It's kind of cool. Yeah, 3 streams in a row. Yeah, well, Major Flat D. Well, the thing about Jason Goodman is that, you know, I was watching his video today. Like, he did a video with the Big Lebowski or something like that. I mean, it's kind of cool, you know. He had a thumbnail, and it's like, it is artistic. And the dude that was on there is like an accountant style dude that was, I mean, it's not content that I don't have any interest in that content. So, for sure, propping him up in the sense that's saying that, you know, there's a chance I'll be watching more of his content, and that, for sure, when he's covering stuff about elections and Trump and this and that, I have no interest at all. I have no interest in even knowing the stories. So there's not going to be that much of a, you know, there's not that much of a bond. There's not that much of a mutual storyline, you know, other than some of the people that he's upset with. And I can work within that parameters, man. I can't be seen on this server as just someone that, even in no case whatsoever can anyone work with the China to 3, because he's just totally, don't do it. I mean, that's what they're trying to put out there, you know, that nobody wants me, that it's working with me, nobody wants to. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm the one that's not choosing to be on some kind of scammer team. It's not, You know, who was it that said that nobody wants me? Lieutenant Colonel Dimples or whoever it is over there in Hoax Wars chat. Or no, it was the girl. The girl that kind of like has the blonde hair avatar. She said that, like, oh, you've been here a while and nobody wants you on their team. And I was like, yeah, because they're freaking scammers, man. Of course they don't want me on their team. And I'm sure if Jason was a pure scammer, and that he wouldn't want me around with respect to any kind of scams that he's doing. So I'm imagining that there's going to be a mutual common area around certain people, and then the rest of his content is just going to be him looking into that stuff that I don't have any kind of reason to look into, American politics or the people that he's talking about around Clinton, around Comey, or around all these people that he's even talking about, as the FBI director or something. Like, I don't even know. I'm not even interested in that. So, and then obviously, if I do work with Quinn in any way, it's gonna be in a, like, I'm gonna have to just give him like a little pointer and be like, no, I'm not gonna come on that stream right now. I'm doing something else, but yeah, good luck, guys. You know what I mean? But it's not to just, it's not to just have a position that, that there's no point in helping China to 3 at all, with if all he is basically a terminal cancer, and if you go and buy a cup of Java at the old China to 3 Starbucks, well, everybody dies. Well, I don't know. No. I'm gonna bring some good things to the table, and if I do a live stream with him, I'm gonna make it count, man. We'll figure something out. I'll friggin' catfish Professor Doom with my neighbor and some photos of her in bikinis, And I'll read the catfish letter out, and I'll read out what Professor Doom answers. And if Quinn joins in, well, he better have both his eyebrows shaved or neither shaved at all. Or I'm going to be friggin' having to give him another seminar on sensibility. But hey, it's easy to hate, man. People could hate, and that's the easiest part of life. It's hard to forgive. It's hard to take chances on people. And obviously, look what happened with my truth convoy, man. You put yourself out there, friggin' shit blows up in your face. Well, hey, man, you just keep on moving on, and you don't let that happen. That's not any way to live a life. It's always things blowing up in your face. So you try not to make that happen with other people. And I don't think it's going to be like that with Jason. I think we have a certain understanding, and I got a certain amount of respect for what he's trying to do as a filmologist that's trying to make a real kind of news channel revolving around some crackpotty individuals that were basically feeding him a bunch of malarkey, and he was, running with the malarkey like it was friggin' CNN. And that's it. That's my analysis, and look forward to seeing how my trolls fucking get so triggered when they see that I'm doing anything with Jason Goodman. And when I'm doing anything with anyone, I just like to see my trolls trigger off and friggin' start attacking my Patreon account, and they'll be trying to take down my live stream channels. They'll be like, oh my god, he's going on to Jason. He might get subs. All men, everyone man the battle stations. Forget about everyone sleep in. We're staying up at 4:20. We're all getting up at 4:20, man. We're not letting them get away this time. I guarantee you, if I go on any of these shows, if I call Frank Bacon, and, if I start hanging out with any of these people, it's only gonna be troll friggin' festival. It'll be the troll alcohol fest. I mean, you're gonna see trolls staying up all night trying to friggin' troll me. And hey, wouldn't it be nice if all of a sudden, you know, instead of just being respected by all the craziest friggin' lunatics left on YouTube, the TWOOF movement, well, wouldn't it be nice if some mainstream people would get a glimpse of China 3 and be like, hey man, this guy is has a pretty good understanding of these characters, and geez, if I could just get my little message across to them that I'm not here with Scythorn, I'm not pro, nobody died at anything, and everything's a hoax, I'm not an auto hoaxer, I'm with you, I really don't know. YouTube's crazy. As far as I know, you should go on YouTube and figure it out and get back to me. And some of these people, well, I could talk about them. And then I just show them a bunch of videos of the people talking in their own words, saying the craziest things, you know, doing all kinds of madness, and then cleaning up their act and trying to pretend like there's 3-4 there's like 9 lives on YouTube. And that's all I'm looking for, is that new open mind people that had never, and then all of a sudden it's like I'll have like a tsunami of like new eyes on my what I consider to be a little problem. You know, it's not going to be all focused around that, but at a certain point people are going to question this whole cyberbullying thing and this whole, you know, monetized channels and the people protecting the money. And it does sound a bit like Rico, and it does sound a bit like, you know, the responsibility of YouTube. You know, the people that nobody has numbers to call and nobody can send an email to and say, hey, we got a problem over here. Yeah, those people, the ones that only want to talk to the partner channels that have over 100,000 subs. Yeah, those guys with their partner channels. Well, hey man, I'd like to get in touch with, if everything fails and my whole world collapses in around me and all the twoofers, you know, turn and say, you're not the king of the twoof movement anymore, get out of here. Hell, I could put on my spy glasses that I showed everyone 3 nights ago, and I can straight up, I am not some deadbeat without ideas. I can straight up go in front of the Google friggin' office and I mean, you want to see reports, I will report on Google employees. Like, you know, like it's not going to be, I'm not going to be missing material, okay? I can invent material as I go. So, the Jason Goodman thing is going to be positive for me. I'm going to make sure it turns out positive. It's going to be positive for Jason Goodman. I'm not going to go around and clown the guy and then all of a sudden everyone looks over and says, well, that was, ha ha ha, look what happened. Like, I'm not Truth Convoy, okay? People if someone's going to reach out and want to work with me and I want to work with them, and things are going to be good, man. I'm not a clown. I'm in it to win it. And when other people see that, well, that's why I'm the king of the Tooth movement, is I'm able to do all these things and make videos and do live streams, and I have my own car already, and I have a job that pays, so I don't necessarily need to beg for coffee. And that's what just makes me, you know, believable, and you know, it makes it part of my story, makes my story real amazing in a sense to anyone that looks at it from a YouTube point of view, and then really super friggin' tragic to anyone from the secondhand store that looks at it. They're like, oh. And I'm talking about a dude that has a shirt on that says, you know, something about, you know, because he's a Jewish dude and he's talking out about against Zionism, or the occupation kind of thing. And I mean, this is a hardcore truther over there. If you're wearing a shirt that says, you know, that you've written out on the back a little saying, and he's telling me that I'm friggin', you know, I'm special, and I'm like, but what? But you're special, and then he's again, I'm special, so I'm like, this YouTube is really special, man. Brings out the special in everybody. So I hope that answered your question. And the last thing I'd want to do would be to lose a friend like Major Flat D over me trying to improve my position on this 4-dimensional chessboard filled with retarded friggin' players. And hey, man, I'm you know, like to look back and look back on my PvP YouTube career and say, yeah, I beat those guys. So everyone will be reserved, and everyone will be watching to see what I do and see how things turn out, and see that things don't blow up in my face and don't blow up in other people's face. And I think a great example is what happened to Truth Convoy and how she's acting towards me is definitely going to make people say, well, what the hell would anyone help her for? I mean, if they don't believe that I helped her, because she seems to believe that I'm part of the Monograph crew, and that I'm a part of a gang, and that I'm anti-Trump attacking American politics. So, and anyone else that knows, you know, that it's for, you know, I actually just helped her because I saw that those psycho trolls were trolling her with some real sick, demonic kind of trolling. And they're the same people that troll me anyways. You know, they're all his friends, man. The people that hang around with Laz now. Well, and then look how it blew up in my face. So, God bless me, man. God bless this website. And now I have other truthers that are saying I'm part of the Canadian, or that all Canadians need to mind. I mean, I'm not even anymore. This is a website. I'm not over here as a Canadian. I'm not here as an American. I'm here as me. That what I know about the internet. And I know a lot more to know that this ain't an American website anymore. It's not a Canadian website anymore. It's like some kind of a friggin' some kind of digital insane asylum, and I'm friggin' unfortunately the king of a wing of a mental ward. Twoof. So and any relation to Handsome Truth? They're gorgeous. Twoof. Because I like that picture you got, man. It's like those guys are they're having trouble, man. They're getting a bit of flack. They're getting the old people think they're going overboard, man. It's looking kind of suspect over there with the crew. The Handsome Truth crew is starting to look poofy. But that ain't part of my, you know, if somebody wants to come over here and ask about my position on the 60-year-old issue of occupation, well, Jesus, Murphy. I mean, I could figure out some content around that, but nobody's gonna like it. I mean, I might have to do a 7-day, 7-religion world tour. You know what I'm saying? Friggin' freak everyone out, man. I mean, you can join all these religions, man. You just friggin' go sign up. I mean, you can join and unjoin and join another one. You know what I mean? So I'm not doing the religious thing there. I'm not going to fight the K-Smalls army. I'm just going to stick with what we got, folks. We got the UK. We got happiness. We got, what do I want to win? Well, it's not really win. It's more like like if you would say it in a PvP kind of a sense, you know, like a player versus player kind of a video game kind of a way. You know, you complete the levels and the challenges. And then like Dungeons and Dragons kind of winning, you know, like where there's a bunch of freaks that are LARPing as all kinds of freaky things, and one of them's a dragon escaper, the other guy is friggin' LARPing. He's even dressed, got a friggin' cape on, and he's friggin' hiding out in a corner of the building, and you're all dungeon and dragging it out, and yeah, so kind of win with those freaks. So how do you win with people like that? Well, I guess you make it so that they can't keep doing what they did to you to other people, and then kind of level the playing field. Everyone becomes an adult in 2019, and YouTube, if people want to act on YouTube, well, I mean, it'll be a real acting. They're not going to be people pretending to be twoofers. I mean, there might be, but they're not. They're going to be very unsuccessful, and the whole wing, I believe, the insane asylum called Twoof Wing will be closed down for business. Both also because the TV's going to infect YouTube, and most people are just going to leave YouTube. And there's going to be so much comments under videos from people that are watching TV that the whole comment section is going to go belly up too. That's the next full Nelson. They were going to try and do that like 2016 when they started with the TV pump. You know, like they wanted to get rid of the comment section. They went from comments to top comments to first comments, you know. And that's the next thing to go, man, is the comments under the videos. And or for them to just be overwhelmed with people that are watching television content and not really in, you know. I mean, YouTube wants it so that when you tune in to one of their big stars and they do another video about, you know, psychic vampire demons, that you watch that video too, and that there's some traction on that monetized channel, like they want them. So just something to know, you know, YouTube wants all this stuff, so you gotta go with it, you know. Major Flat D, I just want to see their faces when I'm doing a live stream with friggin' Jason Goodman and some little old ladies, you know, some nice friggin', some Jewish girl, some little woman, 50 years old, is like, well, isn't that interesting? I never saw his channel before, and I like him, Jason. And once someone says that in the chat, man, I'm just going to be so happy. Because I know, like, my haters are going to be like, oh, they're going to be freaking out, man. And I'll probably, you know, take a day off. And, like, if there's a good resonance after my visit, you know, I'll be like, frig, man, that went really good. And the better I do things, the higher quality video that I produce, the more equipment that I bring, the better YouTuber I become. Well, the people that have been harassing me for freaking 4 years, man, that's the thing they hate most about me. If I was no good at anything, they wouldn't do anything to me. They wouldn't be bothering me. So it's like a challenge that, you know, obviously I like to succeed in the face of all these haters. And with success, what do I mean by success? Well, any type of growth that's related to anything that they find to be successful is you know, don't worry, I ain't gonna friggin' join the dark side, man. Don't worry. But even my channels that have 1,000 subs bothers people that don't like you. And so little things like that. I mean, you know, there's a lot of scumbaggery on YouTube. I can always focus on those other people and focus on making people recognize that working with China the 3 is a win-win situation. I'm gonna make Jason a better YouTuber. I'm not just gonna leech off this guy. I'm gonna offer something. I'm gonna make notes. I'm gonna let him know something, and he's gonna come away from working with me, and people are gonna be like, "Well, Jesus Christ, Jason, after James went on, had this improvement on his things," and they're gonna be like, "And James got 200 new subs." Let me tell you, man, you're just gonna see a frenzy of madness around anything good that's happening for me. And hell, man, if it goes completely terrible, which likely it won't, but if it does, well, then they'll all be happy, man. And YouTube and everyone will tell me about this and tell me about that, and you're not the leader of the truth movement. You don't think that I want to have some happiness off YouTube, some kind of winning? Well, then, if I'm not getting paid, then I'm obviously thinking that I'm going to win something at some point. I'm going to be a winner. And even if it's just that all this slander and how they all back each other up and they friggin' gaslight that I'm the ones doing the madness to my own dad, and that everything that I seen is not what I seen, like comments like that. Just knowing that these clowns and nobody else believes what they're saying anymore, and they can't gaslight people with these same failed excuses of arguments that they've been using on people for 10 years. Well, I'm a winner when they can't do that anymore, in my eyes. And in my friends' eyes and the people at the secondhand store, I'm not winning very much. And I agree with them. If you don't know the whole story, it's pretty pathetic. And if you do know the whole story, it's downright freaking freaky. And that 60-year-old people, we're not talking about teenagers here, man. These are grown-ass people running friggin' scams, lying to people as a profession, man. Snake oil salesman, graduated snake oil salesman, this Jordan Lather friggin' dude. I mean, I'm ashamed to be friggin' human, man. Forget about if I'm American or Canadian. I'm ashamed to be human with all these adult friggin' degenerates. It doesn't make any sense to me, honestly. And obviously, hey, man, who knows what'll happen in the next 2 years? But I'm gonna keep rolling with the punches. I'm like a surfer, I just surf in the rip, man. I'm rolling with the punches, man. Wherever it goes, I'm gonna try and come out on top. And it's worked for me for a long time, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, the United Nations has control of the internet. Well, God bless them, man, because I ain't anti-United Nations or pro this or pro that, because all my videos against them ain't going to help. And I know that United Nations has this cyber stalking laws with ICANN, and yeah, and I'm sure that those apply to some form of protection over the experience that I've had on this website. So I'm looking forward to January 1st. Might make a whole bunch of videos about that. My future with ICANN cyber stalking, and if people can be if fantasy is reality or reality is fantasy, basically. We'll see what happens, kids. At least I have new content in my mind that nobody else knows because I'm not telling them, and I have a whole clipboard of wonderful ideas that as soon as I feel stagnant and I start friggin' being stagnant, I will just look at my ideas and pull an idea out of my back of my head and I'll run with it. And I'm sure I can entertain J-Man. If not, I'll friggin' I'll figure out something, man. Figure something out for you. Major Flat D, don't worry, man. When I get on the Jason Goodman show, you're coming with me, girl. Just to make sure I stay in line. You know, like a good company, man, you need a vice president. So I'll just tell him, I'll say, listen, you know, it's me and the Flat D. If you don't like it, man, you have to come on my stream. Or I could just do a stream while you're doing your stream. And pull your stream onto my stream. And we can do a stream like you've never seen stream before. And I could show him about multi-streaming in a way that none of these people know about. The way I was doing it in 2016, nobody still hasn't figured it out yet. So God bless these poor children over here. They should have left me be, and everybody would have been further along just from copying me. But that's how it goes, man. Haters, yeah. Well, haters killed YouTube. So Weetree, rise and shine. Man, you got the best life. This person up with the crack of dawn, sleeps through the, I should call this the wind flapper, the lip flapper stream. Boy, I just talk, and everyone else is sleeping. And then I'm over there in the UK. I'm just having the best life on YouTube now, man. People love me again. I mean, I'm an interesting person again. Nobody thinks I'm gaslighting myself. This is friggin' amazing. My confidence is back. I got the crystal ball over here. The psychic LARP crystal ball. I'm getting other psychic channels, just like people that I've never seen before, being suggested to me by Uncle Google. They want me to be happy again. And Rumpelstiltskin, no speaking the Dutch, you know what I mean? Come si chiami, Rumpelstiltskin. Yeah. Who won out of the battle of the betas, Rach? Oh, did we have another winning WoW for Wanker of the Week? Shoot, man, I slept through it, you see? This is the pain and irony of us folks being on this backside of the YouTube server, man. I missed it. I didn't vote. I mean, please tell me please tell me Random Ryan's won, man. We got one for the boxing match. What boxing match, man? I mean, I wanted to have a boxing match. I tried to get the old dude there, the Whistler from Colorado, to meet me in Plattsburgh at a MMA club, whatever, some boxing ring. I was gonna give him $500 just for stepping in the ring. I just asked him. I said, make sure you check with your dentist that you can box with dentures. I don't want to friggin' get sued. And then that was it, man. He was freaking out and took down my video and everything, and then I couldn't live stream on that channel anymore. So that was like 2.5 months ago. But who's boxing, man? This is my idea. I wanted to promote YouTube Twoof boxing because I'd like to friggin' try and box a few people, even if I lose. It's gonna be like my journey on YouTube. Like, I will box people even if they think they're gonna win. Like, because I just want to box them even if I'm gonna lose. I'm still gonna get some good shots in there, kids. Don't worry, man. There ain't nobody gonna box me and walk away unscathed. It ain't unless they really practice like a whole hell of a lot. Oh, look at this, folks. 6:41 a.m. and we're all just loving each other. And remember about that when you go to the mall there and there's